Farage unleashes political shockwave as Labour struggles with crypto crisis. Nigel Farage has just delivered what can only be described as a seismic political intervention, one that has sent tremors through the very foundations of Sir Keir Starmer's Labour Party. While Starmer and his inner circle of metropolitan elites flounder with their half-baked proposals for cryptocurrency regulation, mired in fear-mongering and scandal, Farage has emerged with something they sorely lack: a coherent plan. Did you know that over 95% of our viewers aren't subscribed to the channel? We totally get it, life gets busy, and sometimes it's easy to forget. But here's the thing, subscribing is completely free, and it really helps us keep creating the content you enjoy. So, why not hit that subscribe button and join our community? It only takes a second, but it makes a world of difference to us. Thank you for your support. But this was no ordinary political address. It was a declaration. A warning. Reform UK is done standing idly by. If anyone believes this is just another policy pitch, they are sorely mistaken. Farage is not merely speaking about Bitcoin, he is spearheading a full-blown political revolt. And who is panicking? None other than Sir Keir Starmer himself, the man who has spent his political career entangled in red tape, perpetually deferential to the European Union, and now presiding over a Labour Party rotting from within under the weight of its own woke orthodoxy. Farage clearly has him unnerved. Still skeptical? Starmer mentioned Farage by name a staggering 16 times in a single speech. 16. That's not leadership, that's obsession. The fear is palpable. And if that isn't a signal of political disruption, what is? Before diving further into this exposé on Labour's glaring cryptocurrency hypocrisy, let's pause for a truth too often overlooked. If you believe in confronting dishonesty, protecting liberty, and holding the political class to account, now's the time to pay attention, because efforts to silence dissenting voices are ramping up. If you're tired of financial censorship and creeping digital authoritarianism, this is a fight you can't ignore. Now, back to the fray. While Labour retreats behind layers of bureaucracy and frontbenchers who have scarcely set foot outside of politics, Nigel Farage has unveiled the Crypto Assets and Digital Finance Bill, a bold and detailed blueprint aimed at pulling Britain out of its technological slumber and into the modern era. Let's be clear, 7 million Britons currently own cryptocurrency. That's 1 in 4 people under the age of 30. And where has Labour been? Silent. Ineffectual. Hopelessly out of its depth. Why? Because it doesn't understand crypto, and worse, it fears it. Cryptocurrency represents freedom, and freedom is precisely what today's Labour Party dreads most. The Conservatives, for their part, convened a committee and swiftly moved on. Labour's contribution? A so-called Bitcoin pilot that bears all the hallmarks of a central bank digital currency, CBDC, an instrument of state surveillance lifted straight from Beijing's authoritarian playbook. This isn't innovation, it's repression dressed up in progressive jargon. Farage captured the sentiment perfectly: there will be a CBDC over my dead body. And he meant it. This is not political theatre, it is a declaration of war on creeping financial control. Labour's digital finance vision? To transform your hard-earned money into a programmable tether, tracking your spending, controlling your access, and cutting you off the moment you dissent. We've already seen the early stages. Take debanking, for instance. Farage himself was targeted: 10 banks, 10 refusals, 0 explanation. A clear-cut political vendetta. And it's not just him. Over 400,000 Britons were debanked last year alone, punished, often quietly and without justification, simply for daring to think differently or engage in crypto transactions. Labour will not stop it. On the contrary, they are fueling it. Farage, however, has drawn a line in the sand. He isn't merely promising to end debanking, he intends to criminalize it. His bill would make it illegal for financial institutions to shut down accounts solely because someone has traded in crypto. This isn't just bold policy, it's essential defense of civil liberty. Meanwhile, Labour dithers, mumbling concern while offering nothing of substance. Their inaction grants the banks free rein to continue their ideological witch hunt. Sir Keir Starmer is the embodiment of everything wrong with the British political class: elitist, detached, and dangerously compliant. While ordinary people fight to protect their savings, their speech, and their sovereignty, Starmer's chief priority appears to be maintaining his popularity on social media, appeasing technocrats, and enforcing a culture of silence. In contrast, Farage remains a political outlier, a former trader, a seasoned broadcaster, and a man with real-world experience. A man who challenged the globalist consensus, defied the odds, and delivered Brexit when no one believed it possible. And now he's back. Not because he seeks power, but because the country needs him. Farage has no interest in currying favour with the Davos set. He's intent on dismantling their grip on Britain. While Labour talks of regulation and equity, Farage speaks of sovereignty, both national and individual. He understands what the political class does not: Bitcoin is more than a digital asset. It is a symbol. A protest against surveillance. A stand against control. A rebellion against the elites who believe they own your future. Labour, meanwhile, are too busy criminalising thought and jailing people like Lucy Connolly for online speech infractions, while simultaneously releasing violent offenders early. That, it seems, is Labour's version of justice. The British public has had enough. Enough of the lies. Enough of the censorship. Enough of being treated like livestock by unelected bureaucrats and spineless leaders like Starmer. This is no longer a battle between left and right, it's a battle between freedom and tyranny. And Farage has chosen his side. This upcoming general election will not be about tax codes or campaign slogans. It will be about control, about who truly holds sway over your life. And Sir Keir Starmer has just received a painful reminder that he is no longer at the helm. Nigel Farage is leading a political revolt, and this is only the beginning. In other developments, Britain is teetering on the brink of political transformation. A seismic shift is underway beneath Westminster, one that is reducing the Conservative Party to rubble, hollowing out Labour's support, and propelling Farage and Reform UK directly towards the levers of power. This is no mere swing in public sentiment. It's a total system collapse. And while the mainstream media fumbles for answers, one truth is becoming undeniable: the political elite are on the run. A recent poll of polls, not a single survey, but a comprehensive aggregation, has confirmed the establishment's worst nightmare. Reform UK is now projected to win a 74-seat majority. Read that again. A majority in Parliament. From political outsiders to power brokers, in a single leap. Nigel Farage. Prime Minister. The man they ridiculed. The man they cancelled. The man they tried to erase from public life. Not only has he returned, he is poised to enter number 10 Downing Street. As for Labour's heavyweights, Angela Rayner, Rachel Reeves, Ed Miliband, they are facing political extinction, swept away as if chalk in a gale. And the Conservatives? Once the party of Churchill, they are now polling at just 22 seats. Rishi Sunak's team has been reduced to an electoral footnote. Meanwhile, figures like Kemi Badenoch, tipped to become leader of the opposition, may not even have time to unpack before being shown the door. Suella Braverman, once heralded as the lioness of the right, is on track to lose her seat to Reform. The message is unmistakable: the old guard is being forcibly retired. And so the whisper now echoing through Westminster is simple: will Braverman jump before she's pushed? Because let's be honest, Reform UK is no longer just a party. It is a movement. A referendum on the betrayal, arrogance, and stagnation that has seeped into every institution, every Whitehall department, every smug BBC panel show. You don't win 362 seats by accident. You win because millions of Britons have had enough. Enough of Labour's fixation on identity politics. Enough of Tory timidity. Enough of being branded bigots for wanting borders, fascists for wanting public safety, and fools for voting Leave. This time, they intend to hold their detractors accountable. This is not just a poll. It's a warning shot. Across the country, the political map is being repainted in turquoise, from North Cumbria to Land's End, across Wales, and even nudging into Scotland. The once ironclad Labour strongholds are crumbling. Imagine this: the party of the working class has lost the working class. In their place, People like Michelle Bear, a newly elected Reform councillor who overturned Labour in a once solid Welsh constituency, an area so loyally red they used to joke that you could pin a rosette on a donkey and win. No longer. Labour has hemorrhaged 35% of its vote there. Why? Because voters are exhausted. Exhausted by rising council tax. By broken promises on winter fuel payments. By a cost of living crisis. By being left in the cold, ignored, insulted, and patronised. They don't want more efficient management of decline. They want change. Radical change. And it's coming. The most astonishing detail? Reform's 74-seat majority projection is based on just 30.4% of the vote. Such is the power of momentum in our electoral system. Meanwhile, Labour languishes at 22.6%, the Tories at 17.9%. The establishment is collapsing, in real time. And yes, the monarchy is watching. Don't imagine these numbers haven't reached palace corridors. When political systems become this unstable, the Crown pays attention. And when the Crown is concerned, the monarch moves. There are already whispers, loud whispers, that the King is preparing to call a snap general election, in a bid to contain the crisis before it spirals beyond control. Why? Because the longer they wait, the stronger Reform grows. By next year, they could win 20 by-elections. They could form a government before Labour or the Conservatives finish their next leadership squabbles. And perhaps the most unnerving part for the establishment? No one knows who Reform's future MPs will be. They are not the usual suspects. Not Oxbridge politicos. Not BBC favourites. Not policy wonks and careerists with glossy CVS. They are unknown to the press, but not to the people. They are builders, veterans, small business owners, parents. People who have not prospered under the current system, they have suffered under it. And they are ready to put Britain first. What terrifies Westminster isn't just the idea of Farage as Prime Minister. It's the notion that he might actually fill government benches with people who believe in Britain, rather than serving the globalist order, corporate lobbyists, or the grey suits of Whitehall. And if this still seems far-fetched, look across Europe. In Spain, the Netherlands, Italy, France, everywhere, the old parties are falling. Britain is not immune. In fact, it's moving faster than anyone predicted. So yes, Suella Braverman may well jump ship. But if she doesn't, Reform may push her anyway.